Yes, hello and welcome to a special kitchen edition of Crosstalk. Well, we never thought it could happen, but we have achieved the impossible. We have brought together for the first time since their breakup in a dumpster over who got to wheeze on the last Winston cigarette, the band that will forever remain in our hearts for their unique vision and pungent smell. In 1990, this band would go on to create a musical wave of innovation not seen since the invention of the keytar. Combining grubby wafts, unkempt hair, coats flecked with vomit and animal blood, and the insertion of a pristine woodwind instrument into their anus, they created a sensation in the early 90s indie music scene that would go on to influence Lenny Valve and the Cocksters, Ernie Pephepperton Flange III, and Grunt Foreskin, the Dutch heavy metal rock band that likes to hump tubas. We had to use zoological animal wrangling equipment to get them onto the live stream today, but after some heavy sedatives and a promise to each band member that when they leave the call, we'll send them all a link to some outrageous dwarf videos, we have them all with me here today for one time only. Ladies and genitals, will you all please rub it together like grasshoppers at an orgy for Matt, Moe, Doc, the original members of Hobo Butt Flute. Yeah!
Oh, wow.
It's good to get the gang back together.
Yeah, it is. How are you all feeling about being back together for this one time only as Hobo Butt Flute?
All you need is flute.
I think we can get past our creative differences on the Hard Salami tour that we did years back. We sort of, it's been 20 years, so we've had time to grow as individuals.
What's really the most amazing thing is that back in 1990, I was 11, so
Me too.
You were all a very young back. But
very young.
You were homeless. You were made homeless young.
We were like the 90s Hanson. Before Hanson.
Yeah, before Hanson. Well, you were more like Butson. It was more like
our big hit was crap.
Yeah, but they lived in Japan. So.
They did. You are very big in Japan as a band.
And as a person, I'm fat, so.
Yeah. So Moe is the only one that looks like he's broadcasting from a professional setup.
That's because I am broadcasting from a professional setup.
It's exciting. Me, on the other hand, who is hosting the show, I'm sat in my kitchen on a pillow on some chair, on some pillows on a chair, while wearing this ridiculous getup on my top half and sweats on my bottom half. Doc, you're in England. We should probably have a check-in with the Brits. How are the Brits coping in this time of quarantine?
As much as Brits do, some are playing by the rules and some are being absolute shit. So,
yes. So much like America, then.
Yeah. We are cousins, aren't we? So, yeah. There you go.
Kissing cousins or inbred cousins, either way, I think, is probably the way we are.
It's all pink in the dark.
well, it is all pink in the dark. We did get some questions today, actually, already pre-sent in, and I'm just trying to find them from Sean Eddy, who sounds like a 1950s guitar player. Oh, I'm Sean Eddy, twangling the blues. I don't know why.
He's Dwayne's cousin.
Dwayne's cousin, right. He says, I hope you've all been well in this madness. Are there any remakes you've enjoyed more than the original? That's his first question. I'll open it up to you, Matt, to begin.
I actually couldn't think of one. All my remakes I think were horrible. So I was trying to think of one that I was like, yeah, that wasn't a bad remake of something. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I guess like the first Batman, the Tim Burton version of it, compared to, the 66 one is always my favorite. So Tim Burton, I was, 10 when that came out, I think? And I was completely frightened out of my mind when I went, because I was expecting, like Michael Keaton to just be, Adam West dancing around and
doing the Bat-Tusi.
Exactly, yeah. And when I see, Jack Nicholson, covered in acid and stuff, it's like, okay, that wasn't really what I was expecting. But, as I'm older now, I thought that was a really good reimagining of Batman. And maybe that's the one, I guess. I was trying to think of another one that I off the top of my head, but most of them are I don't like them. I always just was like, just keep the original the way it was.
I mean, there's the classic. There's the Thing.
Oh,
I mean, it depends how far back we're going. If Sean is referring to like modern remakes, then no. I think the only remake I've watched that kind of is enough of a totally different version of modern remakes that I actually kind of enjoyed was The Crazies. Because I love George Romero's original, but it's obviously hampered a lot by sort of budget and the time that it was made and so on. And I felt like The Crazies was a legitimate upgrade and a fairly decent, and not only that, but like one of those warranted remakes whereby like if something is so low budget, they weren't really able to do what they wanted to do. And if it's like 50 years ago, a remake probably works. But like remaking shit that was big in the 80s and then remaking it in the early 2000s, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or whatever, I have no fucking interest in that. But I mean, the Fly and The Thing, Cronenberg's The Fly and
The Fly, that's right, yeah.
Carpenter's The Thing, if we're going back to the 80s.
I mean, you know, like touching on what you were talking about remakes.
Touching cloth.
Yes, touching cloth. I'm doing that right now. In fact, could I get a minute?
Yeah. Only if you take the camera in, Mo, because then we'll double our viewers.
I'll get that artistic upshot.
Yeah, shit on a glass table.
No, you had mentioned, you know, about movies that got remade like almost immediately after, and the one that always comes to mind is Death at a Funeral. That came out, the remake came out like less than like 3 years after the original, and I'm like, why? Like, why even fucking bother at that point? But
I don't know. Brooke, who is in the chat room, Brooke is saying, what about the scene for scene, line for line Cabin Fever remake? I didn't know that there had been a Cabin Fever remake.
Is that like the Psycho remake?
I was going to say.
Yeah, I knew it'd been made, but I've never bothered watching it. I actually don't mind the Hills of Eyes remake. I actually do prefer it to the original. But I do like, the atmosphere and the music in it. I think it.
Yeah, but you're also a clinically diagnosed psychopath, so.
Doc, was that Ajar who did that? Was that Alexander Ajar who did the remake?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty solid director anyway. I mean, he's maybe not on the par of like Carpenter doing The Thing, but I will at least give remakes done by directors who have proved themselves previously with an original work, like Hope's Tension, or High Tension
Romance.
Switchblade Romance, as it was known in the UK. Rob Zombie, no, because I'm not sure how much he had proved himself before that.
He hasn't. No, I know there are fans of the Free from Hell trilogy.
I still really like The Devil's Rejects.
I'm okay with The Devil's Rejects. I'm okay with House of a Thousand Corpses, but there's really not been much else of his that I've given two shits about.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't need a grungy, gritty, hard-edged, sweary Halloween remake. I didn't need that. You know what I mean?
Honestly, you could have taken all of that out and just said Halloween remake.
Right. Well, because apart from I'll allow them Halloween H2O, but since Donald Pleasance died, don't even fucking bother. Like, don't even try. Like, Pleasance held that whole Halloween soup together, and without him,
shot him 6 times.
I love how Pleasance has become a meme. I feel like I'm partly to blame for that. Me and my Pleasance worship.
Which is the one where he has the really bad makeup on his face?
Yes.
5 and 6.
Oh, is that 5 and 6? Yeah.
Well, because he blows up in 2 at the end of 2. 4, he comes back and like the makeup is subtle, like it's there, but whatever. But the 5 and 6 is when it goes like full blown. And he pulls off a glove and his gloves on. He's like, "Look what he did to me!" Like that. It's phenomenal. It's just fantastic. Kyle Polling, who has joined the chat, says, as a Rob Zombie apologist, he endorses the Halloween remake. So the question I have, though, Rob Zombie's Halloween remake or Halloween 2018? Which is worse?
Yes.
I'm just enjoying doing this on camera.
I'm going to go for the last one.
Yeah, Halloween 2018. What if the mask was magic? What if two of the characters at the beginning were hipster podcasters? Anyway.
It's like if we made a Halloween movie.
Yeah, right?
Don't count it out.
Okay. So the next question from Sean Eddy was, he said, for me, it would have to be the 310 to Yuma and Hills Have Eyes remake. That was his answer to the question. I didn't see the 310 to Yuma. Did you, Doc? You're a Westerns fan.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. It's a good remake.
I like it.
It's got a lot more action in it, a lot more going on. But that is a remake that actually works because it's just the story expanded a bit more.
Is it Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe and Christian Bale.
Nice. Well, here's a question for Doc then. What did you think of the True Grit remake? Because I know
that's better than the original.
Yeah, I thought so too. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, much better than the original.
It's funny. My brain always goes to horror movies when we talk about remakes, but I forget about all the westerns they remake too.
Yeah.
It's really down to the fact that like Jeff Bridges basically has stopped pronouncing consonants. That's really what it comes down to. Even in interviews, I recently watched that, and it's an awful documentary. Don't bother watching it. But Time Warp, the top greatest cult films of all time documentary that came out. And he's in that talking about the Big Lebowski because apparently the Big Lebowski is now a cult film. Who the fuck knew? I didn't.
Well, I mean, they have their own religion, so.
Yeah, but yes, if cult film meant someone formed a cult over it, then yeah. But that's not really what it means. Yeah. Even in that documentary, he's talking like he doesn't say, he hasn't pronounced a consonant for years, I think, and that's the only thing that let down the remake we were talking about. That's name has flown out of my head for the moment.
True Grit.
That was it.
Well, yeah. It's like it technically. I think there were a lot of people that got really upset with the term remake for that one, right? Because they were saying it was another adaptation of the book. I remember that was like this huge thing when the movie came out. Don't call it a remake. It's I don't really understand the difference. I guess you're adapting the book a different way, but there was a movie that was already made, so you're remaking the movie, But that was like the big thing.
Here's my rule, although the Coen brothers obviously broke this rule with The Lady Killers, which was fucking awful. But my rule tends to be with remake, whatever genre, is if it's, and I said this earlier, but like if it's a director or a director-writer team or someone who, it's been 40 years, 50 years, whatever. But secondly, they're like, with our skills that we have, we can, and that we proved ourselves with, we can generally go forward and make like a decent film out of this same story, whether it's from a book or from another movie or whatever. Then I will give it the time of day. Like I'll give time of day to Aja stuff. I'll give time of day to the Coen brothers stuff and so on. Like that makes sense to me because it's a filmmaker kind of wanting to put their spin on a story that they love and they have passion for and they have integrity for. I'm less interested and in fact outright hate most of the machine remakes that are just spat out for reasons. And
yeah, I mean, I loved the original The Machine. So
but Kyle is commenting as well. He says, Kyle says there was when we were talking about Donald Pleasance, he said there was a tremor in the Donnie P force. Most definitely. I think I opened that riff and out came the tremor. He said podcasters have access to sensitive criminal materials, meaning the Halloween 2018 thing. And then he said Man on Fire is an excellent remake. That is all.
That's right.
Are you a fan of that, Doc?
Yeah. That the remake's fucking far superior to the 80s version with Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. What else did he say? He asked, is there a better movie soundtrack than The Lost Boys?
House Party 2.
Judgment Night.
House Party 2, Judgment Night. I think that any of John Carpenter's soundtracks, I know that we keep bringing up Carpenter, but his soundtracks are pretty great. Also, at the end of Jason Takes Manhattan, the Darkest Side of the Night song is pretty... The darkest side of the night. It's pretty great, that one. Maniac Cop 2, the Maniac Cop rap. Come on now. Yeah. What does it say? Stab him with a knife, kill him with an Uzi. He'll show up in your jacuzzi. Come on now. You can't make this shit up.
Any song from the Lorenzo Lamas classic Body Rock?
I mean, listen, everyone loves a greased up saxophonist playing I Still Believe. Like, no one's going to deny that isn't some classic 80s cheese.
That's
best soundtrack ever.
Bank, isn't it?
That's one for the Wank Bank, most definitely.
It's always there, ready.
Yeah. What I don't understand is that my wife has never asked me to dress up like that and jump into the bedroom. So there's clearly something wrong with her that we need to discuss heavily on a future episode. Josh Tita, who's in the chat room, he says Phantom of the Paradise has probably the best soundtrack. I would put that up there with Shock Treatment, maybe.
Oh, I love the Shock Treatment soundtrack.
And Grease 2. Grease 2 is...
DENTON gets 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
TEN out of 10 out of 10.
And Sean Eddy's last question, which I'm going to field to the whole group, is why is Kanye West such a cunt?
I think somewhere along the lines he got brain damage and it just fucking went, and he just went with it, honestly.
So if Hobo Butt Flute were actually going to reform and put out a contractual obligation album, what would it be called?
What?
In it for the money.
don't rot the dog food bag. I don't know. Yeah,
you're all off on the ball here. It would clearly be called Rusty Trombone.
Rusty Trombone.
I remember why we had creative difference.
Also, wouldn't that mean that you'd have to all get tetanus shots before you inserted
Rusty Trombone?
We did back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a few years since I've gotten a tetanus shot, so I'd have to re-up.
What's fascinating?
I had a huge prick in my house. Only joking. I'm married.
We have 9 people watching right now, and what I love even more is that Facebook has this thing now when you have a video on Facebook where they have auto captioning if the audio is off, and and so I'm watching on one screen Facebook trying to translate what we're saying, and it's hilarious because it doesn't make any sense at all. Brooke, who is in the chat room, has just said you should know that Hobo Butt Flute is now in my Google search history at my workplace. So wait.
All our old stuff's on there.
Yeah, all our old songs are up under the original titles. Brooke, you're still at work. Tell us how that works in this whole quarantine shutdown thing. Unless you're just saying that it's on your workplace computer, but you're at home. I hope you're not deep in the front lines of coronavirus. I'm not quite sure. Vicky Drury, Team Duck Boobs, has joined and says that the captions are hilarious. So I'm going to say slowly. I'm going to say Team Duck Boobs, so that you see the Facebook captions come up for that. See if they can figure that out. Team Duck Boobs, for people who don't know, is how Doc, Andrew Buckley, Vicky, Gary, a whole bunch, Graham, rather, a whole bunch of us, Graham Nolan, got to know each other because we're all fans of Howard the Duck, and hashtag Team Duck Boobs became our calling symbol.
I remember when that started. I was hashtag Team Duck Boobs for a while.
Yes.
It's fucking hilarious.
We should bring that back in the same way that I brought Crosstalk back. Somehow I've managed to schedule a crosstalk for every day but Friday. So people will have to put up with me every single day till Friday, which is awesome.
Team Duck Boobs worked.
Team Duck Boobs worked. I wonder if hashtag Team Duck Boobs worked. What's weird is that Facebook is capitalizing the word duck, but not team or boobs, just duck. So Matt, you are direct-to-video connoisseur. I was just on your show the other night talking about ninjas. What have you got in the pipe outside of a flute?
So we're coming up with the 1,000th post, and so I think you saw on Facebook I'd asked people for suggestions, and I got 5 good ones and thought, why don't I just do all 5, and then like one of them will be the special 1,000th post. So Saturday will be the first of the 5 of those posts, so people can see, you know, who ended up winning the 1,000th post. Some of the ones that I'm going to be reviewing, one of them I did end up doing The Irishman, so people were kind of iffy about whether direct-to-video connoisseur should be doing The Irishman because it was direct-to-video, but it was like a $200 million thing. And, you know, I didn't make it a bigger post than usual, but also, I mean, I do a lot of action movies on the blog, of course, and so that scene where De Niro throws that guy through the plate glass window of the grocery store and like kicks him, and it looks so horrible, and you're just wondering what's happening there. I mean, of course, those are things I had to bring up, and you know, from the action movie standpoint. But that's one of the ones. Double Dragon's another that we're going to be looking at. New Dolph Lundgren film, Hard Night Falling, which not give it way too many spoilers, but it has one of the most interesting bait and switches I've ever seen, where they don't show a lot of Dolph, but still make him the main character, which is so fascinating. So so those reviews will be coming. And of course, tonight the podcast drops, the one that you and I recorded.
See, I thought you were going to say it was a bait and switch, like they advertised it as a Dolph Lundgren film, but it's really starring Jeff Speakman.
Yes, that would be amazing. Can you imagine post-cancer Speakman making his comeback, but secretly, like he didn't tell anyone.
Yeah,
he
didn't tell
just
anyone.
showed up.
Who's playing Dolph Lundgren?
What? Yeah, he would be playing the Dolph.
He's playing Dolph.
He's got like a blonde wig on.
Oh my god!
It's Jeff Speakman in one of those like rubberized He-Man suits. He doesn't even look like Dolph Lundgren. He's just wearing like a rubberized He-Man
like weird,
suit.
like when Weird Al was playing Rambo and UHF.
Yeah, he's just wearing that, and he's just walking around being like, "I'm Dolph Lundgren," blah 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 blah. Like he's not even. He's just not even trying.
The worst Swedish accent, so I'm Dolph Lundgren.
I am making the Swedish meatballs. That's
me and the bulls.
Jeff Speakman is Dolph Lundgren, and we're still trying to figure out why. So Brooke apparently works for the government at the VA hospital. Thank you for your service, Brooke. That's fantastic. She's a tech for eye surgeons, and we still have patients coming in for eye injections and glaucoma follow-ups. She's mostly bored. So these crosstalks are a welcome diversion. The word that's really surprising there is the word welcome. A diversion.
Diversion makes sense. Yeah. I know the pain. I too am an essential worker. So yeah.
Yes. So Moe, you work for the big corporate giant. Yeah. You are suckling on the capitalist teat.
I am.
But you are considered an essential worker. Thank you again for your service, Moe. What do you have in your pipe?
Well, I mean, it was crack, and I switched over to meth recently.
Nice.
Nothing.
No, I mean, are you doing any No Budget Nightmares or?
No Budget Nightmares has gone kind of a hiatus at the moment. Because
is that because Jill has clubbed Doug to death?
I mean, it might as well be.
Can you imagine Jill and Doug having to spend 40 days in quarantine together?
I'm surprised. You know what? Personally, I think all of Doug's posts on Facebook are actually Jill, and he's been dead for 3 weeks already.
I would not be surprised. We have Wilfie has joined with Doc Paul. Wilfie has joined just to add cuteness to our video. Thank you, Doc. This will make the video go viral immediately. There was a dog in it. Sorry, Mo, carry on.
I was to say, but because of all of the Corona craziness and like my job like really ramping up, I've just been super tired lately. In fact, right before I came on here, I was like this close to falling asleep. So thanks for waking me up.
And after 25 minutes of this,
I'll be right out. But so we decided to put the show on hold just for the moment. Honestly, we'll probably do a new episode soonish. And me and my lady are working on a project as well, which is significantly easier to do because I don't have to watch and take notes on tiny budget films. So yeah.
You're building a life-size replica of Jeff Speakman entirely from pudding.
It's true. It's hard because it keeps melting. I'm in a warm environment.
Yes, indeed. Yes, you're in Florida. We have multiple states on the line and 2 countries. So we have New York, where I am, Philly, where Matt is, Daytona, Florida, where Moe is, and Leicester, United Kingdom, where Doc is. Look at that right there. And Doc, what have you been doing aside from watching Westerns? What have you been doing to pass the time during quarantine?
I've also been working, driving, delivering.
Thank you for your service.
No, you're all right.
To the chip shop of the UK.
It kind of feels stupid saying thanks. Yeah, I'm not saved any lives. I think.
I mean,
if anything, we've risked more lives than we've saved. So.
It's quite truthful. Don't thank me. It's fucking lovely delivering at the minute. There's nobody on the road. It's great.
Yeah, I'm in the stupid capital of the world, so our traffic was really nice for like 2 weeks, and then everybody down here was like, "No, I want to go to the beach again." So now everybody's fucking out on the road. It's the worst.
So, has anyone seen Extraction on Netflix? It's the latest Chris Hemsworth action film. Apparently, Kyle Polling was a huge fan of the movie because Thor kicks the shit out of street children in India. Did anyone else watch that movie, Doc? Is that one of yours?
See why Netflix made it now, can't you?
No, definitely. With that pitch. That's the elevator pitch. Literally, someone got in on one floor, went, "How about Thor kicks the shit out of some children in India?" And then someone got off the next floor.
And then made the movie.
Yeah.
We're going to throw $40 million at you. Make it happen.
Make it happen. They were like, but The Irishman got $200 million. Like a Scorsese.
Fine. Now we're going to give you $15 million. Make it happen.
Doc, have you seen that, or are you planning to see it?
Yeah, I do want to watch it. It doesn't look half bad, actually. So I will watch that one.
Andy Lunn has joined. He's made it for the second half of the show. Hello, Andy. He is a regular fan of Sleazy Spader Springtime, which is coming back to the After Movie Diner in May. I put a poll up in the After Movie Diner and Dr. Action Facebook group. If anyone is interested, please go over there and vote for your favorite Spader film that you're going to force me to watch during the month of May.
I was going to say, if you put a poll up, usually Spader quite enjoys that.
Yeah, that sounds like Spader.
Yeah, Spader loves it when you work the poll. In fact, that's Spader's charity. Spader has a Save Strippers charity that he's promoting at the moment. He considers them essential workers, and he promises that he will lick the pole clean after every dance.
But he probably runs it from his basement.
From the Sleazatorium that he has in his basement. But yeah, Spader is like, don't worry, I don't have the virus. I will lick the pole clean after it.
He's actually determined to get it.
Yeah. At the moment, 2 Days in the Valley is winning, so that will most likely be coming to Sleazy Spader Springtime in May. True Colors with him and John Cusack. Shadow of Fear, which is sort of a thriller, drama, action thing. And then The Stick Up. They are the top 4 right now that I will be most likely covering in May. So if any one of you guys wants to be a guest on any Spader shows, just hit me up in the DMs, as they say. That's a thing. So what else have we got going on? What else can we talk about? We have we don't have to fill another 30 minutes. We could just end it here. But if we could, I tell you what we could do is I could bring up some mad clips on YouTube and we could comment on them. Give us a someone give us a genre or a potential. Here we go. Give us a YouTube search term. Give us something to search on YouTube, and we'll talk about the videos that we find from the search terms on YouTube.
Do you think Hobo Butt Flute would turn anything on YouTube?
Let's have a look. Let's see if Hobo Butt Flute brings anything up.
Probably the hobo things. We would have like sort of that exploitation genre of people that were attacking or making homeless people do bad things. Maybe we don't want that necessarily. I don't know.
No, so there is a YouTube video called the Wisconsin Butt Flute, which is a news article all about how someone apparently stole a flute in Wisconsin by ramming it up there, which which opens all sorts of questions. Which is why do you need to, if you're going to steal something, why a flute? Secondly, why Wisconsin? It brings up lots of questions. We do have Hieronymus Bosch butt music, which is a thing. So I'm going to bring that up in a second. We can listen to some Hieronymus Bosch butt music. I'm just going to check the video first. This is from the Garden of Earthly Delights.
Sounds classy.
So it does. It's great. Let's have a look. This is apparently Hieronymus Bosch butt music. Let's see what it sounds like. A little bit ominous, I think, for butt music. Butt music should be more jaunty, I feel.
I feel like this is the butt music you're not expecting.
Is this hobo butt harp? Is this someone who shoved a harp up his butt?
I'm gonna tell you, this sounds an awful lot like one of our big hits. I'm gonna hit these guys for a copyright claim.
Because we based our video on the Wicker Man as well.
So when you search Hobo Butt Flute on YouTube, that's the closest I could find. Did anyone else have anything that they wanted us to search on YouTube? This is a new segment for Crosstalk where we search on YouTube and comment about what we find there.
I feel like if this was slower too, we could just do like any bad commercial that's on right now that's for these companies trying to show us how much they care about us when they're really just trying to keep our names in our mind, so we spend money on them. It's like the piano or the guitar that's so like somber, and it's like, oh, in these troubled times, we all need to stick together. And it feels like a girl
in this world of uncertainty.
Right? Yeah, and it's just like the same. I mean, it's good that piano players and guitar players are being kept in work, with work at this time, but it feels like it's just like every commercial is that when you watch TV. It's just like, the somber piano, and it's just, we're here for you. And it's like, yes, I will buy your cleaning products when this is done. I will go to your resort when this is done. I won't forget you or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, no, I think that we should forget them for a good long while because, and I have this theory, like, we have been as taxpayers subsidizing the corporations for decades and allowing them to have like lower taxes, and then the moment we actually need some money and the government needs some money and we need to like help people out, the corporations like, don't be ridiculous. We're going to fire everyone and then get some corporate bailout. And I'm enough. Let us start with a corporate tax right away where we just ask anyone who made over, like, let's say you can make $50 million profit, like pure profit. And anything over that, we're going to tax you right away to keep the economy going so that people can stay safe and healthy. That's my theory.
It's good, but I haven't got that yet.
Well,
John, get off your socialist high horse.
I've been a bit busy at work. Not 50 million.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right to be socialist if they're sharing my money, but if they're sharing corporate money, then they've really got a problem. We'll be socialist with people's money. I'm like, so you'll give us back our money? Great. But yeah, sharing any of the money that we hard workers have made for corporations, no, not at all. Moe has disappeared now. We've lost him. He's so upset that I'm talking politics.
At what point do you not need any more money? Because there's got to be a point where you sort of just do what you want with it.
Yeah, how many yachts
Free cash,
and
yeah.
houses? Like, even if you bought, let's say you bought an island, you bought a few houses, you bought a few yachts, you bought a jet.
Soccer
Like,
team.
you've got enough
Sounds like a
money.
normal Thursday to me.
You've got enough money to like fly around the world a million times and go on as many vacations as you want. What else is there? It seems weird to me.
I don't know, maybe like fresh fruit. I don't know. I'm thinking of all the nice things in life.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Fresh fruit. I might want to buy $100 worth of bananas.
Not about that. Probably food curing COVID. Fresh fruit. Maybe it's just
I don't know. I was
fresh.
going to try to butt chug bleach later. Hey, look, fruit.
Oh, it's Donald Trump.
It's my reinterpretation of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, see, I was just imagining you were trying to create a backdrop for Hieronymus Bosch's butt music.
Amazing.
Boom, 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 boom. Wish I had a timpani.
Yes. No.
I left that on my other yacht. So yeah.
That'd be a good remake. 2001. That's one we haven't seen yet. That would be. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that would be a good movie. I left it on my other yacht. The Moe and Doc.
I mean, it's the story of my life, really.
Yeah.
Constantly leaving shit on my yachts.
My other car is a yacht. Oh, is it? My child is an honor student. You know, I have to say, I'm so glad that I'm not seeing shit like that right now because I'm stuck in my apartment. Like, there's so much about humanity that I loathe. I'm so glad that I'm not being exposed to it on a daily basis.
I think it's been good not to deal with some arseholes for a bit. It's been quite good, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to look on the positive side. I'm trying to. I've decided that it's only a good thing that we all shut up for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except I've decided to take over the internet once a day and just blather.
Yeah, we should all shut up, except for me. I'm important.
While everybody's shutting up, listen to me.
The John Cross story.
So I do a bit of business because we still have people watching. Don't know why. But
I'm so sorry.
business. Tomorrow around this time, we have Matt Farley of Motorn Media on Crosstalk. Thursday evening, we have Susan Layton from 1428elm.com and diaboliquemagazine.com, a great film reviewer and interviewer, Susan Layton. And then on Saturday, May 2nd at 4 p.m., we have my cousin, Michael Goldberg, coming to us live from Winnipeg, Canada. And he is a TV professional, a podcaster, a mixologist, and a film and comic book fanatic. And we're going to be talking all sorts of great stuff on Saturday. That is the lineup for Crosstalk this week.
But today, you get these losers.
Today, we have Hobo Butt Flute, the reunion tour. And also, I want to talking about music, I want to put out a shout out to anyone who is an indie musician, indie band, someone who plays an instrument using their posterior, any kind of person who does anything online musically, to hit me up in the DMs, as the kids are saying these days.
They're not.
And I will play your music on the show. So that's the plan. I will be playing your music on the show to kind of highlight some indie musical artists. That's the idea. Who was I? Mo, do you have any old band videos on YouTube that we could play?
I mean, yes.
But you don't. I was a drummer of some esteem in the
I'll send you a couple links.
Okay, and then we'll play that, and then we'll do a review of Mo's music live on Crosstalk.
Yeah, just do it on a day when I'm at work, so I don't have to watch it.
There was someone else's music that I was going to put on that I couldn't remember what it was. It's gone out of my brain right now. This is why I should definitely be hosting a daily show, because my memory retains information like things I meant to do on the show today. Gary
John's like, and tune in tomorrow for my guest.
I just announced it, and I just forgot it. Gary Hill has joined, and he says it's so good to see Moe and the Doc. And then he goes, "You as well, Matt."
Hey, Moe. Hey, Doc. Matt.
No, he loves you. It's just I think he probably knows Moe and Doc better. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you guys were the New Year's Eve episode, the romp episode podcast, and I think been on the diner more. I think, right? Didn't you guys all do the romp movies?
We do a New Year's Eve special every year with where it used to be Moe, Doc, and Matt Payne. Then it was Moe, Doc, and Andrew Buckley. Big news for anyone who didn't know. Matt Payne is alive and reached out to me on Twitter, which was fantastic. We had been missing Matt. He had gone internet silent, which is very brave in this day and age. I wish I could go internet silent.
Fucking hard.
Yeah. No, we get it, Gary. He said he didn't know Matt so well, so I didn't want to pursue Matt. We're just kidding with you, so it's all good. But no, Matt Payne reached out to me. He is doing well and still kicking. So that's awesome news. Who knows? He might make a special appearance on the New Year's show. We could bring him back for the New Year's show.
He's dead to us now.
He's dead to us.
I kid.
You don't walk away from this show.
You'll never work another day in this industry.
New Year's special. I have nothing else to say. Do we have any questions from the group? Come on, group. Give us questions. There's 6 people watching this. Give us questions.
We have 6 people watching?
We have 6 people watching this. So,
I'm so sorry.
Oh, has anyone heard from Louis Kugel, or has he slathered himself in hot sauce and started an exotic dancing career? I believe Louis is still kicking around. I don't think he's doing the podcast anymore, but yes, he's Smooth Lou's hot sauce. I'm not going to say any more than that because he didn't sponsor the show or give me any ducats. But Smooth Lou's hot sauce. If you are in the Midwest somewhere, slather yourself in Smooth Lou's. That's a thing.
I feel like that's always a good term to use on a podcast is slather. Anytime you're talking about, that's always a good verb, I think.
Slather is an excellent verb. It's one of the great verbs.
I like to slather myself in mayonnaise and slide across the floor, but you know.
If you just said you covered yourself in mayonnaise and slid across the floor, it wouldn't have the same effect.
It doesn't have the same effect.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, why would I say I'm wet when I could say I'm moist? You know.
Moistness. Give us okay. So before we wrap up, give us. We have 2 more minutes. Give us one more YouTube search thing. Everyone in the group needs to give us a search term for me to search on YouTube. We will then comment on the video we find there.
Yeah, usually when people tell me to like think of stuff, my brain immediately goes to the worst shit, and I don't want to get you banned from YouTube, or from Facebook. So.
Okay, I'm gonna look something up and see what we can bring up. Here we go. Top 10 worst cartoons of the 1980s.
I actually just watched this the other day.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I actually haven't been alive for. So it's the first time.
The trouble is, it's got commentary on it, so screw that. We'll turn that off. This looks to just be a montage. Apparently, Brooke said, yes, you should search hand shadow sex. I'm
down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we should search that on my work computer's YouTube. But apparently, I get a single Russian girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's click on that one.
That can't be trouble at all. That one.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's a fully legitimate site. That's what Donald Trump used.
There's a 2-hour video called "Sherlock is Garbage and Here's Why." It's funny because I could tell you in about 2 minutes. I wouldn't need 2 hours. There we go. Brooke says all I can think of is weird or crazy videos I've seen. I tell you what, I will look up hand shadow puppetry. If if something disturbing comes up, then great. But I'm not going to look up the. This is the best hand. Here we go. I'm going to share this with everybody. This is some internet gold right now.
Whoa.
It's the best hand shadows. What is this?
Good idea.
Here we go.
To myself, what a wonderful world.
This is a dinosaur singing Louis Armstrong.
Like a story. Oh, okay, here we go.
Nope.
Okay, that was.
Yeah, this is disturbing, isn't it?
Sometimes I'm wondering if it's being racially insensitive. Sometimes I'm thinking like if I see a horse, that like maybe a Mr. Ed type voice would be better than Louis Armstrong. And then yeah, sometimes it just seems like creepy, like you know, mid-90s indie flick, like gross sexual kind of thing.
What you don't realise is this is all done with James Spader's penis.
Yeah.
How he does the rabbit is incredible.
He actually had to have it bisected. So
Well, no, James Spader's penis is naturally bisected, like a snake's tongue.
what the?
Okay, that's super disturbing.
What is that?
What? I don't know what this is all about.
Going. Oh, because it's getting closer to the screen, actually.
Oh, that's me.
Jimmy Durante?
That does look like Jimmy Durante.
Well, there we go. That is 2 minutes of the weirdest hand puppets I've ever seen, but good work.
That was Adam Hills was our host.
So I've stopped sharing that now, but there we go. That's the kind of thing you can do here on live streams with just minimal technology. So there we go.
I bet Ellen's shitting herself.
Yeah, Ellen is like, yeah. All right, so that is it. That's Crosstalk for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being on the show. Why don't you all tell the viewers where they can find you, if at all they're interested?
I'll tell the viewers where they can shove it.
Okay, Matt, where can they find you?
dtvconnoisseur.blogspot.com. That's the site. All the links to social media are in there as well. You have to be viewing the web version. The mobile version doesn't have the links, but that's the best place. But you know, pretty much everywhere. Facebook is Direct to Video Connoisseur, DTV Connoisseur on Twitter, all that stuff. And I'm gonna go with Rambo with the tie.
Oh, I was thinking more Japanese businessman.
Karaoke bar at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Doc, I have a They Might Be Giants t-shirt on. Doc, go ahead. Where can they find you, or why would they want to?
They won't want to find me. I'm on Twitter somewhere. I'm on Instagram somewhere. Paul Crowson. I think it's Paul_Crowson on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay then, and so that's everyone. I can be found all over the place like a filthy gerbil. Mo, you had your chance. You decided to tell people to screw off, so that's what you get. No, if you want to tell people, go ahead.
Oh, they can find go to nobudgetpodcast.com. Listen to all the old episodes, and when I have anything new to say, I'll make a post.
Josh Tita said you can find Mo at clownpenis.fart.
That's true. Yeah. I'm not going to look that up.
I wouldn't. Yeah, you can find me all over the place like a dirty gerbil in a sack. And I will be back this time tomorrow with Matt Farley of Moturn Media. So tune in for that. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Don't forget to send us your recommendations of music and stuff that we can play on the show. And you can find all of the crosstalk stuff both the original 13 episodes and the new ones over at crosstalkshow.com. Crosstalkshow.com. That's been it for me.
Have you still got the Jason Ritter episode?
I still have the Jason Ritter episode, yes. The only episode I don't have is the Heather Seaback viewer discretion advised episode. That's the only one I'm missing.
Well, that's the one I wanted.
So that's it. All right, everybody. Check it out. Enjoy yourselves. It's later than you think. And take care. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.